Hello everyone, this is Kaleo and Melanie with Rebel and Muse, and we are here to go back to basics with Warrior 1, also known as
Virabhadrasana 1.
Gesundheit.
All right, get up. All right, so in Warrior 1, your feet are now, instead of on a balancing beam like Warrior 2, they're going to be about hip distance apart on your mat, and then you take a step back. So Kaleo, go ahead and be my lovely model here. All right, so feet are hip distance apart, and the reason for that is that you're able to square the hips forward easier without giving too much torsion in this ankle and the knee. So hips and shoulders are squared forward before you let your arms down. Keep your hands where they are, being mindful of this knee not going beyond the ankle, just like in Warrior 2. So that would be too much pressure on the knee. So we want to bring it either directly above or even back a little bit, whatever's comfortable for you. This front hip here is going to draw back so that the hips are squared forward. As you draw that hip back, really engage through this thigh, pressing into the heel of that back foot. Notice how his toes are a little more forward than the heel. This is to ensure that if the knee does bend, they're following along the same track as the toes, and don't add, again, any more torsion to the knee or the ankle. All right, so this is already a little back bend, so to provide some support for the back, he's going to pull in these lower abdominals. So engaging the core, this will help provide that support for the back. Arms reaching up and shoulders reaching down. Good. Extend up through the fingertips. Soft, focused gaze out in front. And as you hold this pose for a little longer, certain things might happen. The shoulders might creep up, consciously relax them down. This left hip or front hip might inch forward, draw it back, exactly. And typically what happens here, if you hold it for a long period of time, this knee starts to bend. So really engaging through this thigh, really strong through the heel of that back foot. Beautiful, Virabhadrasana 1. All right, to release the pose and take it to the other side, hands come to your hips, straighten the front leg, pivot on the back toes to lift the heel, take a big step forward. All right, pause in Tadasana. So now you see his feet are hip distance apart, and he'll take a step back with the opposite leg. Notice how his toes are more forward than the ankle. Right hip is now going to draw back a little bit, allowing this left hip to come forward. Pulling in the lower abdominals to provide that girdle of support for the back in this back bend. Inhale, the arms reach up. Exhale, the shoulders soften. Beautiful, extending through the fingertips. Again, as you hold this pose, just notice in your body certain things that start to shift and change, and see where you can soften effort that doesn't need to be there, and engage where you might tend to soften as you hold it for a period of time. For example, usually that back leg. All right, to release the pose, hands come to your hips, pivot on the back toes. This squares the hip forward. Thanks. All right, that is Virabhadrasana 1. Peace.